Hello, welcome to News English on radio and television station. Here comes our news today. Continuing the agenda of the 8th session, the 14th National Assembly, on November the 20th, the National Assembly voted to approve the draft Labor Code amended, with 435 over 453 deputies voting, representing 90.06%. The National Assembly has also conducted a separate voting on 3 contents of overturn, adding a holiday organizing labor representatives at the grassroots. As for the results of separate voting on Article 107, 454 delegates participated, voting 94%, of which 433 delegates voted 89.65%, 14 deputies disagree, and 7 deputies do not vote. As for the rule of adding an extra day off on the day adjacent to the National Day of September the 2nd, 455 delegates voted 94.2%, of which 452 delegates voted 93.58%, 1 unapproved delegate and 2 non-voting delegates. Provisions in Chapter 13 on Organization of Workers' Representatives at Grassroots, 448 delegates that participated in the vote, accounting for 92.75%, of which 445 delegates approved, accounting for 92.13%, with 2 delegates disagreed and 1 delegate did not vote. As such, the National Assembly passed the amended Labor Code with the provisions that do not increase the maximum framework for the agreement on overtime work, adding a public holiday on the National Day of September 2nd, and regulations on the establishment of grassroots labor representative organizations. This code will take effect from January 1st, 2021. The government has recently issued a decree on penalties for administrative violations in the field of currency and banking, which will take effect from December 31st, 2019. In particular, the sanction is divided into several levels, from warning, fine from 10 to 250 million. A fine from 200 to 250 million Vietnam dong is applied to acts of violations in trading, supplying derivative products of exchange rate and foreign exchange, export import of foreign currencies in cash, Vietnamese dong in cash. In addition, it applies to individuals and organizations conducting foreign exchange transactions when they are not granted licenses or their licenses have expired or been stripped, operating according to content specified in the license. Common violations such as buying and selling foreign currencies between individuals which are under 1,000 USD or other foreign currencies of equivalent value, buying and selling of less than 1,000 USD or other foreign currencies of equivalent value, and organizations not permitted to exchange foreign currencies, payment of goods and services in foreign currencies valued at less than 1,000 USD will be subject to a warning. 10 non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council on November 20th issued a joint statement confirming the view that it was illegal for Israel to expand settlements in the occupied West Bank. The country immediately stopped such activities. Jürgen Schulz, the deputy head of the UN mission in Germany on behalf of the countries, read a joint statement at UN headquarters in New York. Mr. Schulz reaffirmed his consistent and clear view, in line with international law and related resolutions of the Security Council, that the actions of expanding Israel settlements are illegal. The Security Council also called on Israel to immediately end these actions and comply with the obligations imposed on the occupying forces. Earlier, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had declared that Washington no longer considered Israeli-built Jewish settlements in the West Bank inconsistent with international law. Saudi Arabia and Egypt immediately retracted the U.S. position. On November 20th, new developments in the impeachment hearing of U.S. President Donald Trump in the House of Representatives went in a disadvantageous direction for the U.S. leader. U.S. Ambassador to the European Union EU Gordon Sondland admitted Trump had directed him to pressure Ukraine to investigate a rival in the race to the White House. Mr. Sondland affirmed in May Trump directed him with U.S. Energy Secretary Rick Perry and then U.S. Envoy to Ukraine Kurt Volker to work with his own lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who currently does not have any formal position in the U.S. government regarding Ukraine's policy. Mr. Sondland acknowledged there was a trade-off in asking Ukraine to investigate the son of former U.S. President Joe Biden, Trump's opponent in the U.S. presidential election next year, in which the new Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will be arranged a visit to the White House. Even Mr. Sondland also affirmed that U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo fully supported the efforts to promote Ms. Trump's investigation. That's all for news English today. Thank you for joining us and goodbye.